10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, the 11th of July. No, Man United have not signed anybody else apart from Tyrell Malacia yet. But we're here. I'm going to talk about Martinez. I'm going to talk about his demands for a transfer. I've seen there was a couple of Ajax fans in the comments saying, Sam, this is clickbait. He's demanded that Ajax negotiate with Manchester United, a.k.a. he's demanding that they negotiate for a transfer. He's not demanding to stay at Ajax. I'm going to run through the updates on a situation which doesn't make Manchester United look good, but it is not our fault. Ajax asked for a price for a player. We went in with said price for said player. Ajax have now gone, actually, nah, we want more. It's a bit of a switch from Ajax, from a club that normally follows through. Yeah, I'll speak about it all. How are you all doing? How are your weekends? I'm sure you had a great time. It is hot as hell in the UK, and it's beautiful. Man United's preseason kicks off tomorrow against Liverpool, I think at 2 p.m. I'll be covering that as much as I possibly can. But this morning, I'm going to do a full roundup of the weekend's transfer stories. I'm going to speak about Lisandro Martinez, speak about the latest on Frenkie de Jong. I know you might not like hearing about it, but Frenkie de Jong is still our priority, and I will bring you updates as and when they happen. We'll speak about the conversation maybe. The Man United might not be signing a defensive midfielder this summer. It's sort of like everyone's had that sneaky feeling for a while. And we'll speak about Shaw and McTominay have been speaking about Ten Hag's methods. I did a video yesterday covering Ten Hag's two-part interview with Manchester United. On Saturday, I took a look at my prediction for what the team would be. We can run through that in a bit more detail in tomorrow morning's video. But look, how are you all doing, right? Stato, you're not enjoying it. You're like my mum. As soon as it gets hot, oh, it's so hot. And she's from Northern Ireland, by the way. I know that was a terrible impression. But by the way, Sigmund, good morning to you, my friend. Mr. Santa Claus, making me look bad. I'm joking. Look, handing out 10 gifted memberships to everybody down. You're lucky enough if you get one down there. And who's down there? Anuj, I can see you. Ant, Mushtaik, Roger. We've got Jean. We've got Stefan. We've got Daisy, Fred, Saar, Michael Pearsons, T, Sanka, Evans. Woo, too many to name. Really too many to name. But good morning to all of you. Transfers. I know that transfers are ultimately frustrating. You'll notice I didn't do anything on transfers at the weekend. I don't want to fuel this extra frustration. I really, really don't. I'm frustrated. You're frustrated. And I'll tell you what. I think this... I feel like this Martinez situation is probably frustrating me a little bit more than sort of anything else that's gone on. Because you'll remember, right? Let me rewind here for a little bit. Let me go through these two stories. This one's from the 18th of May, okay? And this is from the 18th of May that when we first... I mean, it wasn't the first time that we heard that Manchester United were interested in a move for Martinez, but it's when the stories started to appear. Mike McGrath in the Telegraph. Saying the Manchester United manager, Erik ten Hag, was eyeing a raid for Lisandro Martinez. And then just over a month later, we heard this idea and this concept, and I covered this on United People's TV. You remember that? The Ajax were asking for 130 million euros for Martinez and Antony. And we all had a conversation in the comments, and I said, look, I know why Ajax are doing that. They've lost so many players this summer. They're probably going to lose a couple more. They're just putting price tags on players there that they don't really want to sell. But if they receive that offer, the club can then say, look, we received these sort of offers you can't refuse, and we sold the players. And that's why they put 80 million on Antony and 50 million on Martinez. And remember what happened at the time. We all agreed, and I think Ajax fans knew it as well, both prices were overinflated. 80 million for Antony, he's not worth 80 million. Shit, Man City have just sold Raheem Sterling to Chelsea for 47.5 million. And you wanted 80 million. And it's not as if Raheem Sterling's finished, by the way. He's 27, multiple Premier League winner. And 80 million for Antony? Nah. They knew what they were doing. And then Martinez. And we had lots of conversations about the price of Martinez. 50 million, some of us felt was a little bit overpriced. I felt it was right at the top end of what you could expect to pay. And now Man United, what we've done, as I said, so many people like to point the finger at Murto at United. Look how crap they aren't negotiating, X, Y, Z. Ajax asked for 50 million for Lisandro Martinez. Man United on Friday, we covered it, Mike provides from the Telegraph confirming it. We put in a bid for 50 million and Ajax was supposed to be making a decision that day. They have made that decision. And now Ajax have come and demanded more. And this is a crucial point, this whole thing. Lisandro Martinez is demanding that Ajax negotiate with Manchester United. Ajax don't want to negotiate with an offer of 45 million plus 5, which is their 50. In fact, they are now asking for 60 million euros. And I'll be honest, this is a situation now that I do not think reflects very well on Ajax. It's like you getting it's like you getting a job offer, agreeing a salary, going back the next week, and they're like, we changed our mind. You're going to get less. No reason. Absolutely no reason. I know we agreed on that before. No reason. It's effectively what it is this, right? Ajax was sitting there with Lisandro Martinez, with a player that they didn't particularly want to sell, and they put a 50 million price tag on him because they thought that they were just sitting there and watching Arsenal and Manchester United go after him. It seems like Arsenal thought about it, watched my video. I didn't watch my video, but look, they were never going to get him when Manchester United were in for him, and they were just wasting their time. So what Ajax felt they were going to get was a bidding war. Just sit back, feet up, sip on a cold one, and watch Manchester United and Arsenal scrap for Lisandro Martinez, and it will probably drive the price higher. It's a bit like in the housing market when you sometimes put the offers behind closed door. You know, I can't remember the name of it, but it's when you get everybody to put their offer in without showing what the price is, and then you're just going to get a bidding war, and it's probably going to go for above asking price. They didn't get that because Arsenal thought about it by the looks of things. It's all gone very quiet on the Arsenal and Martinez front because he was always going to come United. That's why I did that video, and so it's been proved. But Ajax aren't getting that bidding war anymore. And they're just, in my opinion here, they're getting greedy. And I'll speak about it with you in the comments, and I'm sure you've got something you want to say on it. Croggy, you joined as a member, my friend. You're not the only one there. Who else has just joined? Let me give you both shout-outs. You've got McCreed Me as well, Mr. Creed MC. Let me know where you're both watching from, guys, and I'll give you a shout-out. Piro, you're saying this is the first time I'm 100% confident that things will be different. In Erik ten Hag, we trust, a.k.a. Walter White. I think he looks more like Hector Salamanca than Walter White. That's my own personal opinion. But look, Aria, you're an Ajax fan. Let me see what you're saying down here. Schroeder has told the Ajax directors to stop selling players. We can't afford to lose any more players. You're dumb if you keep coming to Ajax for players. He's just signed a new contract. I mean, you put a price tag on a player. A club has come in and put the offer on the table, which matches that bid. And you've got a player there who wants to play in the Premier League, and you're now not accepting the offer that you previously told people you would accept. This does not reflect well on Ajax. I understand that Ajax are in a position where they don't need to sell. Hence why you put... Let's be complete. Aria, right? You're an Ajax fan. You knew that a 50 million euro valuation of Martinez was ambitious in the first place. It was a bit over market value. And now you've received that offer. You don't want to accept it because all of a sudden, actually, he's worth 60 million. We've changed our mind, lads. It's weird. And that's why Martinez is now demanding that negotiations happen. He's got his eyes set on the Premier League move. You've set the price tag. We've met the price tag. And now Ajax have just changed their mind. As I said, look, they've asked for 50 million. We've offered 50 million. They now want 60 million. And you're forcing a situation now. Ajax are forcing a situation where they're just going to have an unhappy player on their hands. They will accept an offer, but they just made it complicated. And again, in the exact same way that I know the Frenkie de Jong negotiations, it could have gone better at the point where we agreed on that 65 million euro up front. That took way too long. But everything past that, there's a lot of things that have been out of Manchester United. That's not our fault that Barcelona owe de Jong 17 million euros in wages, is it? That's not our fault. It's not our fault that we've gone here. We've offered 50 million for Lisandro Martinez, which was the asking price. And now Ajax don't want to accept said asking price. But it's Man United, man. It's us in the transfer window. Clubs know that we have money. Clubs not. Yeah, I suppose we are desperate in certain positions, and it's odd. It's really odd. I think there's another Ajax fan in the comments. I'm interested to hear what Ajax fans have to say about this. Ajax fan here. Ajax was asking in the beginning for a fixed amount of 50 million. Man United is offering 45 plus 5 million bonus. Offer 50 plus 5, and you're probably okay. I know look, Dave, you're saying it down as well. 5 million more and get it done. It will be, but it's just, yeah. I don't think it reflects well on Ajax at this point. I completely understood the overvaluations they put on Antony and Martinez in the first place, 50 and 80. And we all agreed. We said, look, that's not how much they're worth. But we knew because they were losing Haller, lost Gravenberch, lost Mazraoui, probably going to lose Tagliafico, lost their manager, lost their assistant manager, that's why they put that there. So now this week, it's going to be a little bit of tit for tat, a little bit too. I'll be so surprised if Lisandro Martinez doesn't turn up as a Manchester United player. But this does not fall at the feet now of Manchester United. It's not our fault. They asked for 50. We offered 50. Now Ajax have decided, nah, we want 60. It's a bit of greed. It's a bit of trying to take advantage of a situation. But also, Ajax have lost a little bit of negotiation power here because Arsenal, as far as we know, they've sort of stepped away from it. And I think Ajax were expecting a bidding war, and they're not going to get the bidding war. So now they're just trying to squeeze as much out of Manchester United as possible. And probably because they know that we'll come back. If they ask for 10 million more, they'll probably find a middle ground and get an extra 5 million. And that's what we're doing. And that is what they're doing. I'm going to go down here and read. Radu, you're saying 30, 35 million at most. Again, the value of a player is twofold. One, what the market value, what the market values that player at, and number two, what the selling club markets that player at. For Ajax, losing Martinez in the summer where they've lost so much is worth more to them than probably what Martinez is worth in the market. And that's why they've asked that much for it. But it's a shame because I think United have improved this summer in how we're approaching things. It might not be as quick as you want, but the De Jong situation, out of our hands at this point in time. Martinez situation, out of our hands at this point in time. Eriksen, it's been a little bit delayed because of the medical. We've got Eriksen. Eriksen will join up probably in Melbourne. He's going to have his medical this week. I'll speak about that later. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. But I tell you, and as I said, because he now is demanding that the Man United, because Martinez is now demanding that Ajax negotiate with Manchester United, it's a matter of time. It is a matter of time. And I thought on Friday, I thought that time had been found because we had offered what they wanted. I felt great, happy days. But Ajax, for some reason, they've decided on this particular transfer to have a change in tact, right? And we're going to have to pay for it. That's just the way it's going to go. Whether you agree with it or not. I mean, we don't agree with it, but that's what's happening. Matt, you're saying what goes around comes around. These clubs messing United around will regret it when United get back on top and try to deal with them when we have the power. It's man, I don't know what we're still probably looking at is a consequence of Manchester United spending free. We've spent so much goddamn money in a transfer window over the last 10 years, like over $1 billion. And clubs know that. Of course, clubs know that. They must absolutely love it when Man United come knocking on the door because they know they're going to get a great price out of it. And Murto will have to deal with this for a couple of years of just like getting rid of the old image and installing a new image. Getting Tyrone Malacia for 17 million euros, that's the beginning of something different. That's what we need to see more of. Smart, precise, quick negotiations too at a very good price. Identifying a player who could become that top level player in a couple of years, but not already is that top level. But yeah, I think it's going to be a couple of years, probably a couple of transfer windows worth of this sort of thing going on with Martinez, of this sort of thing going on with De Jong, before we can really say that we're different in the transfer market. That's the way I feel about it at the moment. But yeah, I'll tell you what, it's massively frustrating. It's frustrating that now we're still sat at the negotiations table when we've offered what they wanted, but now Ajax want more. Ajax will get a little bit more, and we'll pay a little bit more. But yeah, I'll be honest, it must frustrate John. It must frustrate John Murtough, and I think what we're still seeing is the ripple effect of Ed Woodward that will be a stain on the image of Manchester United for a good few years. He spent 7-8 years tarnishing our image, and it will take time to bring something new through. There's a comment there saying, Woodsy, isn't Murtough the face of the old image? Surely you get... Not at all. John Murtough is the club's first football director. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. We know the pains of years gone by, and I can't be asked to give any more sort of energy and oxygen to Ed Woodward and all the shit that he's done. We'll speak about Martinez as the week goes on. I'm going to be extremely. Martinez will join Manchester United. We will find a deal for him. It's just that United, by the looks of things, are going to have to pay another 3 to 4 to 5 million euros because Ajax, they're being a bit greedy at this point. It is what it is. I don't think we'll pay 60 million. I don't think we'll pay for 60 million. Well, loves to cover up for Murtough. What the fuck am I covering up for John Murtough for? People just love to, as I said, some people thrive on negativity, thrive on just like holding the head of United down as much as possible. And it proves me right. Look how crap we are. Like, what do you enjoy United being crap? What? I don't know what you want. Really odd. Some people, I swear to God, I'm not defending anybody. But as I will say, and I hope I can say this with a smug face at the end of the transfer window, I think we're going to sign the players that we need to sign this summer, and we will be happy with our new team going into the new season. That's what I think anyway. But Frenkie de Jong, of course, is basically the definition of whether this is a successful summer or not, isn't it? In my opinion, anyway. Because we put so much energy and so much time into De Jong, going after De Jong, sort of not looking elsewhere, focusing purely on De Jong and how integral that's going to be. If we don't get him in, it will be a failure this summer. The core part of the summer will be a failure, and Erik ten Hag will feel let down and disappointed. Now, the latest on Frenkie de Jong, this is from James Ducker from The Telegraph last night. He's saying Manchester United are still hopeful over signing Frenkie de Jong, despite the Barca pay issue. Ten Hag's told Dutch midfielder he wants to move to Old Trafford. Now, that's an important one. Again, this was from James Ducker. Let me go down here and let me read this for you. It said Manchester United have been given assurances that Frenkie de Jong is willing to move to Old Trafford in the event the salary issues can be resolved. United's pursuit of him continues to be held up because he's owed more than 17 million in deferred wages and bonuses by Barcelona. I'm really glad I identified that and spotted that before it was properly talked about by BBC and Telegraph and came out. Because it's not United's fault. Honestly, people will probably still want to go, John Murtough this, John Murtough that, blah, blah, blah. This isn't... John Murtough didn't defer De Jong's wages. De Jong did. De Jong tried to be nice. De Jong did did Barcelona a service during COVID. He helped the club. And they absolutely are snaking him. They are snaking him. Jake, you might get banned from the channel for that. Frenkie de Jong, that is a terrible dad joke. And he's saying the transfer window no longer exists for me. Focus on the preseason. Hope to see positive signs of developments. A couple of players won't make our team. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm completely and utterly focused on the preseason. A couple of players won't make our team, but not having a couple of players could break our team. For the success of this season, we do need new faces. And both have to work in tandem. Absolutely have to work in tandem. This is going to be an interesting one because Frenkie de Jong is due back in Barcelona training today. So he's going back to Barcelona, right? And if I'm Frenkie de Jong and I'm going into these negotiations and I'm seeing this breaking before, obviously I'm Frenkie de Jong. I'm not going to be sitting here watching Fabrizio Romano on Twitter, but if his agent should be doing his job properly, he will know this. Barcelona have got a verbal proposal for Rafinha, 72 million euros. Guaranteed, up front, guaranteed. with all the details included. Geez, that's stupid. Why are they putting so much up front for him? That's ridiculous. Anyway, Barcelona, looks like you haven't learned any lessons. Frenkie de Jong, man, is going into the club. He's owed 17 million euros in wages. Legally and contractually owed 17 million euros. More than that. 70 million pounds, including bonuses. And the club is just sitting there negotiating a deal worth 72 million euros plus the wages they're going to pay him for Rafinha at the same time that they're trying to tell him, we haven't got the money. We haven't got the money. I mean, what? I told you, like, I feel for Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong, unfortunately, and this is why some people say nice guys finish last. Because Frenkie de Jong did Barcelona a real service. Everybody at the club was forced a 10% wage cut during the first year of COVID, but he deferred so much of his wages for his dream club because he wanted to help them. And instead of that being something that Barcelona thanked him for, they're now using it against him. And it's no wonder that Barcelona are in the state that they are in, and I couldn't wish them any more pain. Like, absolutely, it's a travesty. It really is. It's more than travesty. It's illegal. I mean, it probably isn't illegal per se because it would have been a verbal agreement unless this was tied into no, he didn't, because he hasn't re-signed a contract since 2019. So that might be what this issue is. There might not be a legal standpoint here for Frenkie de Jong and his agent. I don't believe, anyway. Barcelona fans, if there's some watching, you can let me know in the comments. But I don't actually believe that Frenkie de Jong signed a new deal since 2019. So everything to do with his wages since would probably have been a verbal negotiation that his contract would have been deferred and split over the next few years. And they are just snaking him, man. They are snaking him hard. I believe we'll get de Jong now. He's now 4-choice CMs, and they owe him. He is 1 foot out the door. I mean, he's more than 1 foot out the door, man. As I said, I feel for him. Barcelona aren't being annoying. Barcelona are being dirty, underhand tactics here that are going on. And look, Sherwin, you could be right here. Look, perhaps Barca was looking to secure for Rafinha before cashing in because Barcelona need money. They need monies. We all know they need money. But yeah, I'll be very interested. Oh, no, I'll do that after, actually. I'll speak about the potential replacements for him. I'll be very interested to see what happens over the next 24, 48 hours. Millie, you think that de Jong will take the pay cut? All right. Type in the comments. Type yes or no. At this point, what do you think is going to be happening? Do you think that Frenkie de Jong will accept a pay cut, which is probably going to be 40 to 50%? Yes or no? I don't think he will. And certainly not with the amount of money that he's currently owed. He's owed an insane amount of money. He's owed like 65% of his wages from the last 2 years. You really think at that point he's going to turn around and go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, all right. I'll take that huge pay cut as well. Don't worry about that 17 million you owe me either. I just love Barcelona so much. Weird. Really, really weird. As I said, I really feel for him. Michael, you disagree. You think he'll accept? I'll be honest. If his agent suggests that he does accept, then I would sack that agent straight away. Someone like imagine, there's no way this would have happened if Mino Raiola was his agent or in the past, or maybe Jorge Mendes. I feel for him. I really, really feel for him. I've been told that the pre-season press conference for de Jong for Ten Hag starts in a couple of minutes. What are you doing, Ten Hag, man? I'm live and direct. Let me see what time that starts. Does it start at 10? I don't know. Anyway, I'll cover it. I'll cover it later. I've got a video going out this lunchtime anyway. I can probably cover the points in that. But man, it's just United in the transfer window, isn't it? We love drama. We get involved in drama. And this de Jong situation is, yeah, it's not good for Man United. It's not good for Frenkie de Jong. And we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And so is he. We're stuck between, we've agreed a guaranteed upfront price for de Jong, 65 million euros. Obviously, the add-ons and everything past that, we don't quite know yet. And now he's going in and he's going to have that meeting. Let's see what happens past that point. No doubt there'll be developments. No doubt I think this is going to drag and drag and drag and drag and drag. I think this is going to drag badly. And I think Ten Hag will make sure that Manchester United do not walk away from it. And for those who, I'm sure the majority of you do understand it now, but for those of you who don't, like Frenkie de Jong is more than just a midfielder for Erik ten Hag. He's everything that he wants to build. And Frenkie de Jong is the centerpiece of all of that. And that's why us having a conversation. Look, I will do a separate video on this at some point. I told you, like, I've already got Ruben Neves and Yuri Tillemans lined up in my 5 potential replacements for Frenkie de Jong, but they really aren't potential replacements. I mean, they are realistically in terms of where he'll play on the pitch, but none of them are full replacements for Frenkie de Jong. It's like Martinez. If Man United at this point decide, Ajax, hold up, no, you said 50, sod this, we're walking away. We will go and we will find a Martinez replacement that will do pretty much everything that Martinez will do, or maybe won't play in central defensive midfield as well. But with Frenkie de Jong, it's way more than that. And that's something that I've sort of been saying quite a lot here on United People's TV. It's something I really, really hope that I get to do that video in terms of how Frenkie de Jong will transform Manchester United. But let's see. Yeah, look, it goes on from 10 a.m. You bastards. I thought that was later on. Anyway, I'll cover it. I'll cover some of the quotes coming out of the press conference during this stream, as you would expect. Now, moving on to Antony. I found this quite interesting. This is Ajax as well. This is from Mike Vivide saying that Ajax are working to sign Francisco Conceição. Ooh, great name. From FC Porto with the price of €5 million. And Mike Vivide here saying that Ajax sees the potential successor of Antony in Conceição. It's from Mike Vivide on the Telegraph. Now, with Antony, I'll be perfectly honest here. I want Man United to go nowhere near him now. I don't think Manchester United should be going in for Antony because of everything that's happened to date with Martinez. We knew that the €50 million was a bit too much for him, but we paid it. And now they want 60. What do you think Ajax are going to do if we go in and try to sign Antony, which is way too much at 80? But if we try and go 70, what's going to happen? They're going to keep pushing it up. We try to go at 80, what's going to happen? Well, we actually changed our mind, lads. We want 90. It's all odd. It's all very strange. And in my opinion, I think Manchester United should be walking away from anything to do with Antony. And I'll be honest, at this point, we actually haven't put a bid in for Antony. We know that, right? I know some people tried to jump on it. What was it? James Robson. It was Goal. They tried to say that we had gone in for him, but we did. By the way, everybody in the comment, I know that there's about 40 comments so far telling me that the press conference is on. I know the press conference is on. All right. You don't have to keep spamming the comments. But Ajax, 80 million. There's no chance we're going to go in for him. There's no chance I want us to go in for him. And because of how Ajax have conducted themselves now with the Martinez situation, it will only get worse if we try and go in for Antony, because there's no way we're paying 80 million. And therefore, even if we offered 80 million, I wouldn't even be confident that we would get him. So I want Manchester United to look elsewhere. Hakim Ziyech, he's confirmed that he's leaving Chelsea. He wants to negotiate his move. That would be an option that would be cheaper than Antony for sure. A player that he knows equally as much as Antony. So you could see just as much of a benefit of signing Hakim Ziyech as you could see in signing Antony. No, very similar. Both right wingers, both love cutting inside. And Hakim Ziyech was, of course, part of that 2018-19 Ajax team, which was arguably better. That's one option. Serge Gnabry's. That's what I mean. We can talk all day about alternatives, I think, for Antony, alternatives to Martinez. I think they're quite easy to find. But there isn't really an equal alternative for Frenkie de Jong, and that's why it's a little bit different. But yeah, that's what I think about Antony. I don't think Manchester United should be going anywhere near him now because of how Ajax have conducted themselves with Martinez. They will do the same thing or worse with Antony, and we cannot afford, and we won't pay 80 million, and therefore they won't negotiate. I think they've shown that with Antony. That's why I think so. Go down here. Chelsea wouldn't. Look. I think the days of the idea of not selling to rivals is probably over in the Premier League. Unless we're talking like Man United selling to Liverpool or Arsenal selling to Spurs. That probably won't happen. Chelsea selling to Spurs maybe as well. Chelsea have shown this summer, like with Raheem Sterling going to City, shown this summer, sorry. Raheem Sterling going to Chelsea Ake, Nathan Ake is going to be going the other way as well. They're fine with it. They're absolutely fine with selling players. And Ziyech, they'll sell Ziyech to us. I don't think that'll be an issue if we wanted him anyway. So it's a conversation to have. Certainly having a conversation there to be had. Sorry. First rule in financial negotiations is, what is the asking price? 50 million euros. We offered it. They didn't want to accept it. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Let me see if Eric has started talking yet. No, not yet. Or if he has, there's no quotes out yet. Man, my phone is going off. My God. I must get like 400 notifications every day. Seriously, it's insane. Should we sign Icardi, says someone down there? Well, we can have a conversation about that, but I don't think Mauro Icardi, though. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Martinez. Lautaro Martinez. No, we shouldn't be signing Icardi. That's an easy question. Apparently someone else we're not going to be signing, and I know this is going to cause some controversy in the comments. Manchester United are prepared to go through the transfer window without signing an out-and-out defensive midfielder. Ten Hag is so eager to sign Frenkie de Jong, he is prepared to eschew a defensive-minded midfield signing. Now, I've already done a video on this, and I went as far as to say that I think Ten Hag's pretty doomed if he doesn't sign a defensive midfielder, and I stand by that. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because everything we've sort of seen so far suggests that we're not. We haven't. Look, Ibrahim Sangare, he's available for 37 million euros. Relatively cheap for a player in that position that could come in and make a big difference to this team. But we're hearing, and we haven't seen really any links to any top-level defensive midfielders so far this summer. It's all been about ball-playing central midfielders. Frenkie de Jong, of course, being the lead one of that. But it seems like Ten Hag is just happy to not go after one. Now, I think it's a massive oversight. But also at the same time, I know that Erik Ten Hag, of course, knows his system better than I do. And he understands it. And if he feels confident enough to do it, I think he's making a mistake. I think he's underestimating how shit our midfield is. As a United fan, I've witnessed it for so many years. But that may be a self-confidence in his own beliefs and what he's seeing in training, that he can get more out of this squad. And Eric, man, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. But I think that's a massive oversight. And I personally think that's a massive mistake if Manchester United do not sign a defensive midfielder this summer. D King, you've joined as a member. Let me know where you're watching from, fella. Welcome to the community. And Matt, you're saying, I'd be surprised if Chelsea see United as rivals at this point. I mean, of course we're rivals. We're all rivals for the top four. That's just the utter truth. Top two are completely gone. But Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal and United, next season, there's 4 teams fighting for 2 spots. It is what it is. We're all going for that top 4 spot next year. Or maybe Chelsea think that they can usurp City and Chelsea, but they finished so far ahead last year. Let me go down here and see. Chris, you got to join on Friday. We don't do the map until Friday. And he's saying, look, it feels like Ten Hag wants a Carrick rather than a Keane. It could work, and he could be right. Like, if you're looking at how Ajax played under Erik Ten Hag, you look at Lasse Schöne back in 2018-19, and you look at Edson Alvarez. It was a little bit different. Alvarez was a bit more defensive-minded than Schöne was. But both and all of his midfielders are all good with the ball at the feet. It's all about possession, recycling possession, and not necessarily per se just like an enforcer who just stays there and enforces. Edson Alvarez is more in that category than any of the other ones. But I think we've seen this not sneaking up on us, but we've seen this kind of all summer long. And as I said, I think it's a mistake. And I really hope that Ten Hag's coaching proves me wrong. That we will see more from the likes of McTominay in a specified, clarified role. That we will see more from Fred. That maybe James Garner is going to be better inside that position than Manchester United. Than we think for Manchester United. But yeah, I personally think that's a mistake. I don't like that. I think that's an oversight. But it is what it is, I suppose. I've got to trust my manager. I just wish that we were signing somebody. And look, again, Jake, you're completely right here. And this is the different caveat to it. If we do, or by the looks of things, when we do sign Martinez, Martinez has obviously played a full season there for Ajax. He could play there. He may well just switch between centre-back and central defensive midfield. Or maybe he'll just play in central defensive midfield. I don't think he will, though. I think he'll play centre-back for Manchester United. But I don't know. I'm not particularly happy with the idea that we won't be signing a defensive midfielder. As I said, though, the biggest problem in our team for the last 5, 6, 7 years has been defensive midfield. Has been a lack of a midfield enforcer. But this is a brand new system coming in from Ten Hag at the club. And he's obviously working on it very, very hard. If we're looking at what the players have been saying about it, I might do it. This is probably what I was considering doing a video on this afternoon. That's Luke Shaw on Ten Hag saying, look, it's clear that he's a top manager. He has a structure to play the way he wants us to play. We haven't had that for quite a while. And it was clear to see last season, which was extremely disappointing. So Luke Shaw throwing shade at both Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralf Rangnick for what they were doing. And he's saying, look, all the players understand what's going on. Scott McTominay, he's got an idea of the way he wants to play, and he executes it really, really well in terms of getting it across to the players. All the players here really positive in speaking about Ten Hag and his philosophy, his ideas, and not only just his philosophy and ideas, but how he portrays that to players in such a way that they completely understand what he means. Because it's very hard to... It's hard to be able to coach and teach somebody to do something the way that you might have like the most genius idea in your head. But if you can't verbalize that in such a way that people understand, someone else can understand it to the point where they can then execute it, then you aren't able to teach that person and pass that knowledge on. But Ten Hag can do that, has done that. And all the players are really speaking out about it, about how impressed they've been, certainly compared to what we've had before in the last couple of years. Ahmad, you joined us. Remember, look, that is a Ahmad Nidzamuddin. Ahmad Nadzri. That's a long old name. Let me know where you're watching from, buddy. I think I pronounced that right. Paredes from PSG. Where's that come from? Don't think that's going to happen. We shouldn't be going for De Jong. I mean, I disagree with that. They're all positive about previous managers under Ralf Rangnick. Show it on the field, lads. Sigmund, you're right there. I don't want to hear. I don't want to see any apologies from players after shit performances anymore. I just want to see players putting in shifts. Put in shifts. That's what I want to see. Pure shifts. Someone asking there down in the comments about Eriksen. As far as we know, Eriksen is having his medical this week. Manchester United are expected to make it a more stringent medical than usual because of what happened with his heart condition. And they want to make sure that he's fit and ready to join Manchester United. So maybe it's just a little bit of delay. Right? A little bit of delay. Fred, you're saying, look, Sam, can you see Headless Chickens McFred being remolded into the new system? Fred and McTominay, you're right. When they play, they do play like Headless Chickens. Because they've got that energy. They've got that desire. But that'll only take you so far if you just like run round and you don't know what you're doing. If you can focus that energy into a specific role, basically put McTominay and Fred into a box and say, look, this is what you're doing. I don't care what you've done before. This is what you're doing. You might be able to channel that energy into a better way. That's what we've got to hope. I've got to hope that McTominay will be a better footballer and because he's being coached by Ten Hag. I've got to hope that Fred will be a better. And I think most of these players will be better footballers because they are now coached by Erik Ten Hag. But yeah, as I said, the idea that we won't sign a defensive midfielder, it doesn't sit right with me. And I don't think you can be surprised at that. Lurkish, let me know where you're watching from, friend. Joining the family as well. I just want to see Sigmund to say big thank you to you as well for gifting 10 memberships. It's been an absolute giveaway on here. I think there must have been over the last 2 weeks now, in excess of 100, 150 memberships gifted by myself, by Sigmund, by so many of you. So thank you all. And please drop a like on that for all of those guys as well. And girls. Really is fantastic, man. It really is fantastic how everybody's helping the community grow and get better and better and better. Let me go down here and read a few more of your comments out now, and then I'll head and I'll watch the press conference from Ten Hag, and I'll probably get that covered in a video that goes out at lunchtime. Don't say I don't treat you well. Sometimes I do. What are you all saying down here in the comments? I'll read a few of them out. Did you see the drill? McTominay is a one-touch drill. You always wanted to... I've done well. I've covered that in quite a lot of detail the preseason. What that drill was, it's quite easy when you watch it. It's two players who cross over. It's passing into 1 foot, and then McTominay. So it's two. 4 players in 4 corners, 1 player in the middle, and the 2 players run up past to McTominay. He passes back to the other one. They cross over. Then McTominay turns around and does the same thing backwards, so that he gets used to receiving the ball on his left foot and his right foot, and he's comfortable passing it off to his teammates with both his left foot and his right foot. So that's exactly what that drill is doing. It's about introducing quick one-touch passes with both of those feet, and not just relying on McTominay limiting himself to being a right-footed player. It's all about confidence on the ball. And clearly it's coming across to these players. That's exciting. But look, if you want sweet transfer news, how about this? Now, if that doesn't put a smiley face, I don't know what will. Andreas Pereira has just signed his contract with Fulham. No issues. Deals completed until June 2026. We will receive £10 million. Don't know why I said that. I sang it. But Pereira, all done. We got the here we go on Pereira as well. So we knew it was going to be done. But look, that is a good way to start the week. And this is a week I said last week was make or break for Manchester United. And somehow it's turned into both last week. We made the right offer, but Ajax broke negotiations by backing out of what that offer was supposed to be. We've made our offer for Frenkie de Jong, but Barcelona have broken promises with de Jong over those wages, and now we're getting held up on both. At this point, we're just getting held up by other clubs. We're doing the right things. We've done the right things, and we still can't make the signings. It's frustrating. It really is frustrating. As I said, a lot of this now is not on Manchester United. Steve, you're saying, look, finally, Pereira's on ridiculous wages and never good enough. Look, Pereira, pre-season Perlo, as he's commonly known. I think he'll go on to probably be a decent enough Premier League player for Fulham, but we need to get rid of him for a long, long time. And Steve's right. He was on massively inflated wages. It's a big reason we can't get rid of Phil Jones. It's a big reason why we probably are struggling to get rid of Eric Bailly. And there are loads of other players who fall into that category as well. You see at the weekend, by the way, that there are lots of players now who are free agents and they are struggling to get the big signing on and fees and the huge wages that they wanted. Players like Jesse Lingard. I'm really happy that that's coming home to roost. Really, really happy. Because players created such a self-inflated sense of importance. And now that's coming home to roost. And Jesse Lingard might just have to disappear and play in the USA because nobody is paying the wages that he demanded. You should have listened, Jesse. You should have listened. It is what it is. I'll read a couple more of your comments out now, and then I'll head over and I'll cover the press conference, and I'll get that covered in a separate video. But look, yeah, it seems like Erik ten Hag has been... It's so nice of him. Erik ten Hag's delaying the preseason press conference because he's sitting there watching this with me. So, Eric, enjoy your press conference when you go out and do it, my friend. But look, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the content over the weekend. Saturday was about looking at the predicted 11, which we'll run through tomorrow in the morning stream before the game. And yesterday, I covered Ten Hag's 2-part interview, which I think really gave us a little look in to what's going on behind the scenes and how Ten Hag is really thinking and the blueprint that he has for this new Manchester United team that he is building. I don't think Dybala is going to be joining. No, I haven't thought he's going to be joining from day one. And I don't particularly think that's going to change, even if he was to take a massive pay cut. But at the same time, the Ronaldo situation adds the curveball that I didn't expect. I don't think he's going to join, but maybe I'll be wrong. Put a buyback clause in Pereira. Hold up. No, thank you. No, thank you. David with the worst comment of the day so far. I'm not sure if he's being sarcastic or not, but there's no way that I would want that to happen. Thoughts on Dylan Levitt? Don't think he was going to make it Manchester United. Went there to Dundee, became their player of the year. I wish him the best of luck in the SPL. I really do. Michael saying, looking forward to seeing the system coming together tomorrow. So am I, man. I really, really am. Lou, you're saying, what's with the whole Frenkie de Jong situation? You know what it is. It's Barcelona being snaky. It's dirty tactics from Barcelona, which have forced a nice player in Frenkie de Jong. Now, as I said, this is just based on a gift that he gave Barcelona by deferring his wages and expecting fairly because he's contractually and legally owed those wages. But now they're not paying them. And it means that situation needs to be resolved before he leaves Barcelona. And that's what that's where we're at. That's where we sat at. Gariba, of course, you can be my friend. Just make sure you subscribe. If you want to become a member as well. Yeah, PSG, I'm not even sure I'd take him for 75 million. Dumfries, quite a few of you mentioned in the comments. I don't think we're going to be signing a right back. I didn't think we'd be signing a left back. But I think we're probably going to have enough in Diogo Dalot. I think Wan-Bissaka is going to get an opportunity this year. He would have been working. I don't think he's naturally suited enough. I think he'll probably struggle. It will take a lot longer to get into Wan-Bissaka, the style of fullback that he wants, that Ten Hag wants him to be. I think he'll probably be sold next year. I think if he wasn't on such big wages and didn't cost so much, we probably would have loaned him out this summer. But look, that is what it is. But yeah, look, got a new shirt up today. Ten Hag's back on the wall. You're saying that if Barca have broken a contractual agreement, can he just leave? I don't know whether there are any sort of exit clauses in these contracts. I mean, I imagine the contracts are extremely complicated, but that's what the agents do. But the agents, the main update there is the fact that De Jong's due back at Barcelona today, and he will be having that conversation with his agent with Barcelona. So expect some sort of developments with De Jong this week, and hopefully it's a good development. If Barcelona can agree on those wages and how the structure would work, then it's all systems go. And I think United will get the man. Right. I'm going to wrap this one up for today a little bit early. Actually, no, it's not too early. I'm going to cover the press conference, which I imagine is starting right now. It's pre-season now. It's starting to get busy. I apologize to anybody maybe that I don't know why I said apologizing. I'm not out in Thailand. I'm not going to be out in Australia either. I'm the only person on United People's TV. I've seen like United Standard out there. Of course they are. United Viewer out there. Stretford Paddock. It's cracking. There's tons of people involved in all of those channels. It's just me here on United People's TV. And I do need to change that. And I will bring some new faces on to help. But because of that, I've decided to stay here and cover cover it how I cover it. Right? I might be going to the Oslo game. Depends if I can get press access or not. But look, everybody, I think if you want to watch a press conference, go and download the app. Because I think it's free on there. Also, actually, I think you might just be able to go on manunited.com and watch it on there. But look, thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. Drop a like on the video. I'll cover the press conference and maybe any big talking points in a video going out at lunchtime. It's going to be an insanely busy week and a busy month for Manchester United. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. Take it easy, though. Let's see how we get on this week, and no doubt it'll be busy.